Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the money, 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 money. I get that fast money in a. I get that fast money in a.
Hello and welcome to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets, your weekly podcast for all things sports betting in the world of the NFL and other sports. I am your host, Nick Fiorentino, and alongside me we have supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Chris Sershaw. Chris, how we doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. My boys let me down, but it's all right. I'm sure I'll hear about it numerous times throughout the show, but it's okay.
Like I said last week when you brought him up, we'll get into it. We have prime time, big time Tim Secor, who is just killing it when it comes to primetime games. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing much better than my New York Football Jets. I'll tell you that much. They're taking a beating this year so far.
Yep, you are. I'm surprised they're not going to call you to play quarterback this week, since it looks like Darnold's hurt. And don't adjust your radio or your podcast streaming computer. We have not Reggie White's junk. We have Harry Hatz, who is in some kind of game with a great background. But Harry Hatz, Harry, how are we doing today, buddy?
Doing good. Just like my division-leading Philadelphia Eagles with the 1-2-1 record.
I'm happy to be in first place, but I would not have predicted that win last week. So, guys, as always, this is Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. You could find us on Twitter and Instagram at SBFS Show. Our initials and show. We post daily on Twitter different bets that we like and things like that. So definitely give us a follow there. We're part of the TruExact Radio family. TruExact, spelled T-R-U, exact, and radio. You can find them on Twitter and YouTube. Our show posts on YouTube on Wednesdays and on iTunes on Thursdays before the game. So, guys, thanks for supporting the show. I think we all would agree that the support has been great. We appreciate it, but support the program overall by rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Subscribe to the TruExact Radio. We might jump on for some bonus shows from time to time if we like something. You never know, but if you're following TruExact, you'll never miss anything that we're putting out. TruExact Radio has a bunch of different shows that they're kind of doing. So Friday on the Random University, we have Frack the Rapper that's being interviewed. He's an up-and-coming West Coast artist. And obviously on Sunday, Mark's Side of the Ring, the other show I do with Miguel Minetti, we'll probably be talking about the new leader of Retribution and how that's going to impact the rest of the show. So a lot of fun stuff there. Now that all of the ads and all of that stuff is out of the way, we can get into some football. So starting out the recap that what was the week 4 in the NFL. I won a few bucks in daily fantasy. It came down to Thursday night. If I had put Denver's kicker in instead of, I forget what receiver I picked from the Jets, it would have been the difference of a couple $100. But obviously I picked the Jets receiver and not the kicker from Denver, and that's what made the difference. Had a couple, I did some different parlays this week. I did some anytime touchdown parlays, and the cool thing with FanDuel Sportsbook is that if you hit all but one of your legs of a parlay, they do this thing called like insurance. Maybe DraftKings does it too. I don't know, but you get your money back.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you get your money back. So I for the Vikings at Houston, I had Dalvin Cook and Fuller. Unfortunately, I thought Brandon Cooks was going to score. He did not, so I got my money back on that. And in the Saints and the Lions, I had Kamara and Hawkinson. And I was rooting for Troutman to get his first touchdown, but of course, fucking stupid idiot noodle arm Drew Brees did not target him once, so I didn't win that. But that one would have been big because that was plus $3,081, so that would have been nice. I hedged my A's future, so I'm walking away with money no matter what, which is perfect because the Astros are up 2-0 at this point. And then season long, I'm in the playoffs in 4 of my 6. So Although I did lose Nick Chubb, which sucks. Sir, how did you do this past week?
Well, the 1 o'clocks, I was doing all right. I did a little teaser. I felt inspired. So I did a little 4-game teaser with Baltimore, a couple other teams involved. Hit that. 4 o'clocks, hit 1 game. Didn't really dabble too much. And then the night game hit, and that was terrible. To all my Niner fans out there, I see on Twitter talking about Nick Mullins is this, and if Jimmy G comes back, it's going to be a quarterback controversy. Let's stop that nonsense right there. Like, he didn't play well, but it is what it is. But I also put the over at 45.5. I put that bet in. As you know, the total was 45. Then I decided to bet the NBA Finals over at 219.5. The total was 219, so I lost that. Day started off well, went downhill. It is what it is.
We all have those kind of weeks, but it sounds like you had an actually pretty good week outside of towards the
No,
tail end.
I did all right.
In your real life
fantasy, in one league, I put up the second highest point total. I just happened to be playing the first highest point total and lost by almost 100. So that kind of sucks.
And we'll get into the true quarterback controversy in San Francisco, which is Beathard and Garoppolo.
Stop.
Beathard looked good on that last drive. If that game was 5 more minutes longer, I don't necessarily know if the Eagles are going to win that game.
If they get that 2-point conversion at the end, and then drive down, kick a field goal, go into overtime, who knows? But
yeah, Tim, how'd you do?
You guys played well. Tip my hat off.
Thanks. I think the Eagles. I mean, they definitely deserve to win that game. They played better, although they couldn't stop Kittle at all.
Nobody can. The best tight end in football, sir.
No. Well, they can't stop any tight end, but they certainly couldn't stop him.
How'd you do? He's not the best
Shout out to Brent Ayuk for hurdling, old boy.
Yeah.
That was a highlight reel.
Yep. Tim, how'd you do?
Oh, well, let's see. If you listened to me all last week, boys, 13 parlay, second week in a row. Hit it for you. Hope you listen. I know some people did. I got at least 2 texts. Best bet hit last week. The Buffalo Bills. It's too easy. It was way too easy. Fantasy-wise, I went 3-6. I ran into Dak Prescott in 2 leagues. And if you know what Dak Prescott did last week, if you played against him in fantasy, he put up a 50-burger against you. And I don't care what league settings you're in, that's hard to come back from.
Absolutely.
One of my leagues that I was already 3-0 in, I'm now 4-0, and it was purely luck this week because Calvin Ridley put up a little
same as me and you.
Little donut there, kid. Sometimes you could be the smartest guy in the world, but it takes a little bit of luck to get a win. And in that league, that's basically guaranteed me the playoffs, starting 4-0. The other thing I have to say, just for going forward in weeks, it's the first week we're dealing with buys now in fantasy, so that's a huge issue for people to deal with. I know personally I'm getting hit with Aaron Jones in 3 leagues that I'm going to miss, and he's been arguably the best player in fantasy, especially at the running back position. So it's going to be very difficult. Hopefully you drafted well and didn't get hit with injuries already. Otherwise, we'll be scrounging on the waiver wire and hoping for the best.
Is it possible in any league in season long for you to draft a team where nobody has gotten hurt yet?
No, not in 20 years.
I think one out of my 9 haven't lost a huge part of the team. And maybe I lost wide receiver 3 in one of them, but that's
so why depth is key in fantasy
too. Just pure luck.
Well, this year's been. I mean, even
keep drafting running backs and receivers.
Yeah, and keep adding them on the wire. But I even in the league that I'm undefeated in one league, even in that league, I lost Noah Fant. I mean, it just seems like it's absolutely impossible to go without an injury in some form or fashion.
If you're gonna lose anyone, be glad it's a fucking tight end. because their tight ends have been unbelievable this year.
Balling.
Fire and late rounds. So.
Speaking of tight ends, Tanya kicked my behind in 2 leagues.
Yeah, well, I picked up the corpse of Jimmy Graham in 1 league, and he's like the 6th best tight end right now. Well, he might be down further now after Tanyan, but Jimmy Graham's definitely top 10 tight end, and hasn't been that in a long time. Hats, how did you do last week?
2-2. I lost Barkley in 1 league. Kittle's been out for me in another 2 leagues, but my big money league, I opened up the year scoring 190, and then I lost to the high score the next 2 weeks. So I needed a win this week, and I got it. 2-2 in 1 league, 3-1 in 1 league, 1-3 in another. So the other one, I'm 2-2, but that's a free league, so that's just for fun. But overall, not too bad. Hit my pick 5 pool, so that was good. And so overall, I had a pretty good week.
Do you, Harry? Do you do the same pick 5 pool that we all do? That's circulating around Somerset County. I don't want to put it out there. It's
yeah.
5 against the spread.
Yes, there's a couple I'm in, but that one there's like about
500 people.
500 people in that. Yeah, that one I took. I don't even know how I did in that one. I looked at the Cardinals game, lost, and that was it. Unfortunately, the one that I did hit on, there's only about 30 people in it. So
a win is a win, though.
But win's a win. I'll take it.
I agree.
Yeah. So it was one of my better weeks. Kittle really showed up for me this week. The league that I did lose, really, there's every fantasy football player has an excuse every week. I scored 20 points, but I lost against a guy who I would have beat everybody else in the league. But the one guy
who would make that excuse?
I'm saying,
But this week I feel like I have a valid gripe. My quarterback's Tannehill and my running back's Derrick Henry. And so I lost 2 guys right off the bat. And then I had Tyreek Hill, and I know every league runs it different, but in ours, you had a choice because you have to set our lineup by Thursday. So you could either take a chance, which I didn't. So I ended up starting Keenan Allen. He did okay. So
yeah, he played well.
Yeah, so it worked out okay, but I still lost. And with Henry in there and Tannehill, I know that I only lost by 7. So with those guys in, I'm pretty sure I would have won. So unfortunately, what are you going to do? This year is different from any other we've ever faced. So
yep,
roll with it.
It sure is.
Big facts.
And then, of course, fantasy aside, our team hats, also being a big Eagles fan, our team, our first place Philadelphia Eagles team. I think we could see it. I don't have that tattoo, but yeah, we're in first place in the NFC East, and signs are pointing.
NFC least.
I will say this: they've looked like the actual Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, Wentz played better. He had the pick, but I don't blame him for that pick. It was tipped and intercepted. And Doug Peterson looked like the Doug Peterson of old. He didn't look scared. He didn't coach scared. He looked good.
Our D line is really starting to shape up. We just 2 years in a row. It's not even hindsight. When Metcalf was sitting there, I looked at my son and said, "We can get Metcalf." Instead, we got Whiteside. This year, we're like, okay, well, we lost CeeDee Lamb, but we can get Jefferson or we can get T. Higgins. And instead, we got Rieger. And you know what? Those 2 guys are doing great. So we don't always have to outsmart everybody in the league. We just need to take who we should take, I think, sometimes.
Well, Howie has proven time and time again to not be the best of wide receiver, drafters when it comes to GMs, but and we saw the end of a coaching reign. Bill O'Brien is no longer the coach of the Houston Texans, and I mentioned on last week's. I thought I mentioned it. If I didn't, there were odds on who was going to get fired first, and he was not in the top 5, or he was not in the top 4, I should say. He might have been number 5, but it was in no particular order. Nagy, Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, who can't hold the lead, and the 4th one, Dan Quinn. Who could forget Dan Quinn?
Can't forget him, bro.
So
How
we
he still
know
has a job, I don't know.
We know that Bill O'Brien is done. Of the 4 remaining coaches that I mentioned, will there be any more coaching firings in the season? And if so, who do you predict it be?
There might be one next week. The Jets are going to lose again, and our coach is going to get fired.
Yeah.
How he kept the job past fucking Friday last week is beyond me. And just let me know, it sucks being a Jets fan, and it sucks being a Giants fan. Thank God Buffalo is the only real team in New York, because the other teams that play out of New Jersey are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Well,
He is terrible. He's got to go. And you know what? If I listen, there's a lot of qualified guys out there, but I love Bieniemy. I think he's going to be a phenomenal coach. And I don't know. I don't know why the Jets don't get rid of Gase and just, Bieniemy be my coach this Sunday.
Well, the answer to that question is because they will fire Adam Gase and they will hire Bill O'Brien to be their next head coach.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
When are teams going to find out? And Hats, you probably have my back on this. When are teams going to figure out that being a head coach and GM are not a good idea? I mean, they tried it with Chip Kelly, and it was fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Bill O'Brien absolutely destroyed that franchise. I think doesn't Miami own their first 2-round picks this year?
Yeah.
Right.
Laramie
What's
Tunsil.
that job? Who's taking that job?
So it's going to be absolutely phenomenal when Miami gets the first overall pick this year off of Houston, because they're an absolutely horrible team, and I don't think that they're going to be good anytime soon.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, the only lucky thing is there's 3 or 4 teams that are worse than them, but they're gifted a top 5 pick, regardless of how Miami actually does themselves.
It would not surprise me if Houston traded J.J. Watt. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Because you need picks.
Why you hold them? What are you holding them for?
Trade him, get some picks, and start the rebuild process. Because, as you said, they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
It seems like for so long they were like I guess they thought they were just on the cusp of being like an elite level team. So they just kept trading away picks for guys to like put the bandage on the leaking bucket. And now they don't have any more picks to do that. I mean, they traded, DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody knew that was a terrible trade.
Bill O'Brien should have been fired that same hour.
Yeah.
You trade DeAndre Hopkins, you're fired, my man. Get out of here.
Yeah. He should have been fired 5 minutes later.
And obviously,
Johnson. So gross. Every time, like when you say what the trade was again, it doesn't make it any better. Like nothing about that trade got better.
If that was a trade in fantasy football, it would have been vetoed by the league.
That's it.
You would have been laughed out of that league. You'd been like, come on.
there would have been reports of collusion for sure.
Yeah,
if I take that trade in Madden, the AI would have rejected it.
Speaking
the
of
only
Madden
way that trade
players,
was good is if you got the David Johnson of like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of both Madden players and terrible coaches, how bad do you think the Detroit Lions miss Caldwell as their head coach back when things were good? And they got rid of him and have consistently hired losers since then. And the biggest loser right now is Matt Patricia, who, and I mentioned Madden players because I'm pretty sure more people can hold leads in Madden. 10-year-old kids can hold leads in Madden easier than this fucking guy can hold the lead in an NFL game. I can't wait to hear what Sir has to say. What?
Sir, Dan Quinn would like to say hello, first of all right? Talking about leads, Dan Quinn wants to say, hi, how you doing? Because he can't hold a lead either.
Mm-mm.
Although
he didn't blow
Monday Night Lead because he didn't have one. That's the only reason why.
I did see.
He didn't blow a lead.
I'm sure you guys saw it too because you follow the same shit I follow. But I saw something that said we just entered the fourth quarter of 2020. We're hoping that Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I hope we're playing the Falcons.
We're hoping we're playing the Falcons.
I did see that.
Cold-blooded.
Cold savage.
Brutal. Brutal. Tim, when you said you were 3-0 in your parlays, were any of your 3 parlay picks part of your primetime picks?
What was it? No, I don't think so.
So you actually went 7-0.
Oh yeah,
On your parlay, and I mentioned the 7 because we did have Kansas City in their primetime game against the Patriots. So we did pick on that game off air. We all picked Kansas City. Of course, it's easy to say that now, but we did.
11.5. Easy money.
It was posted. We posted it beforehand.
Did we?
You should have. There's text messages with timestamps to prove it.
Needless to say, Tim is Mr. Primetime until further notice, so we will be doing a shot of this is mouthwash, basically.
See, no. Well, so what happened was me and Sir only had 1 pick difference. So the difference between one shot and the other went a little bit like this. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. No more shots of fucking Hennessy. Eagles. Eagles.
Until next week, motherfucker.
Next week. For anybody that likes tequila, you should be rooting for me. Because that would be the shot of choice if I ever were to win. But
in my games, I went 7-1. I even hit my parlay too. 7-1. That's not a bad week.
That's
if I was an NFL coach of picking primetime games, I would be Adam Gase with my eyes like this the entire time, staring at all of you. I can't even do it for that long. It makes my eyes.
Basically, what you're saying is take your picks and bet the opposite, and you'll make some money.
Until it happens this week, and then he goes 3-0.
Yeah, facts.
To the XFL and the mouthwash shot that Tim is making us take.
Yes, you're welcome.
How come my shot's coming out of Reggie White's junk?
Don't make it come out of Nick's nose either.
My nose would have been clean.
They left with the bar keys. White drawer. Porch. Okay.
So we will hit primetime picks now, and Tim obviously is in the lead. He had a great week. You can look on our standings right now being posted that Tim is a commanding lead for primetime picks. So Tim, we will kick it off with you. Tampa Bay at Chicago. It is Tom Brady versus Nick Foles.
His name is Big Dick Nick when he faces Tom Brady. All right.
Unless you're Deion Sanders, who doesn't know that nickname. I don't know if you guys saw that on Barstool, but they mentioned Big Dick Nick, and he was like, "Wait a minute, you don't talk about another man's junk." And they're like, "No, that's what we call him." And they were like, "Yeah, you guys might call him it." They're like, "No, everybody in the world calls him Big Dick Nick," and he did not know that. So
that's a shame. It would be the best nickname for you to have, Nick. It would be.
Yep. Not going to tell you what my nickname is. But anyway, Tampa Bay is at Chicago, and Tampa Bay is laying 5 points. The over-under is 44. Tim, who do you have?
Oh, this is Tom Brady's revenge, baby. He's going to get Nick Foles back. And although that nostalgia kind of has got to be in the back of Tom Brady's mind, I think that's going to drive him to just wipe the floor with the Chicago Bears. He's going to go – he threw for 5 touchdowns last week. I think he'll only throw for 3 this week. But if Ronald Jones is the only running back there and Fournette doesn't play again, I think they have an even better chance to win. Ronald Jones was a beast last week, and they're going to continue it this week. I'm going to take Tampa Bay minus 5.5. I'm going to take over 44. I had it at 5.5. That's what I saw it on DK, so that's what I went with.
That's fine. Hats, what do you got in this game?
I'll go.
Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago. I've been winning with Chicago all year, betting on them and against them, so might as well keep the trend going. And I do also call him Big Dick Nick. I call him that every week.
That makes sense. Did you guys see, just real quick, since we're talking about Chicago, did you guys see this tweet that since the divisions were kind of, I forget exactly what the stat was, but over the last 4 times that Indianapolis has played Chicago, whoever won,
Glad to see it.
you saw that, right?
Yeah.
So when Indianapolis won,
When Indy wins, the Democratic Party wins that presidential election. When the Bears win, the Republicans win, or something like that of that
I
nature.
think it's the opposite because Chicago.
Oh, yeah, opposite. All right, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
fair enough.
Indy.
I know it had something to do
won-
with the election.
Well, let's just call the election now. We know what's going to happen. Guys, you heard it here first. Breaking news.
Send your hate tweets to @BigTimeTF. No. Sure. What do you got in this game?
I've been riding this train the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna keep going with it. Give me the Bucks -5. I saw it at 5. You know, Tom Brady's been balling. Like he's been playing pretty well. I mean, Godwin said looks like he's out. Evans was banged up last week, so I would look at the Ronald Jones props. You know, rushing and all that stuff. Give me Tampa -5 and give me the over at 44.
I hate going against you guys because it usually means that I'm going to lose, but I'm taking Chicago. I just think, like you mentioned, and it really is about the team being banged up. I mean, on a short week, Godwin's out, Evans is hurt, Scotty Miller missed practice. I'm not really sure who they're throwing to. We know O.J. Howard is done for the year. Fournette's hurt. Brady is on the wrong side of 40. Even though he had a great game, he also threw a pick 6. He's got 4 in his last 6 games. So I just think that the game is set up well for Chicago. I also saw a interview with Nagy saying that they need to establish the run more. So give me Chicago getting points and give me the under because I think it's going to be a pretty slow game. We'll move on to Minnesota at the Hawks. It looks like the Hawks are laying 7. The over-under is 57.5, so obviously a high-scoring game. I'll start this, and then we'll go in reverse order. I'm taking the Hawks -7. They've covered every game they've played so far. But I am going to take the under 57.5. I just don't think Minnesota's a very good team. I know they just beat Houston, but Houston's an even worse team. I just don't see Minnesota going up with the Hawks. I think they can score points. I think they will. But Minnesota by no means will stop the Hawks from doing anything. So give me the Hawks -7. Sir, what do you got? Sir might have froze up. Do we have you, sir? It's funny because his mouth is closed and all I hear is so it sounds like he's talking, but he's not. We'll move on to Tim until we get Sir back. So, Tim, what do you got?
That's all right. Sir's just going to copy my picks anyway. I know where he's going. I'll just answer it for him. It's the Seattle Seahawks, -7. Like you said, they're the best team in the NFL right now. I don't care what anyone says. Playing out of their mind. Best quarterback, Russell Wilson, unbelievable. 7 points is not enough. Kirk Cousins is Kirk fucking Cousins. The only thing that I might find, if Dalvin Cook has a great game, that could be the one thing to skew the over-under. I personally, I'm going to go Seattle in the over. You could talk me out of going over 57.5. It's a lot of points. Adam Thielen's a stud receiver. I could see him getting open and scoring 2 touchdowns and pushing the over. And that's what I would be hoping. I could also see Kirk Cousins and not being able to throw it to the guy in the flat. It all depends. Seattle's an all-around good team, and that's why I'm going them -7. I'm going to take the over, but I wouldn't bet that one way or the other, to tell you the truth.
Sir, what do you got?
All right, fellas. Is this a primetime game?
Yes.
Have you guys seen Kirk Cousins play in primetime games? It's usually not good.
I thought somebody was going to say something about that.
It's usually not good. It pains me to say this, but give me Seattle -7. They are undefeated on the year, and against the spread, they're 4-0. So I'm not betting Kirk Cousins in a primetime game. I can't do it. You might as well just burn your money right now if you're taking Minnesota. So give me Seattle -7. I'll take the under. 57.5. It's a lot of points. So give me Seattle. Give me the under.
Hats, what do you got?
I like Seattle without a doubt. Given the points, definitely. I'm taking the under here. I'm with you. I just don't think Minnesota can score enough to cover their portion of it. I could see Seattle getting 37, 38, but Minnesota, if they get more than 14, I'd be shocked.
So we're in agreement there. And we'll head to the Monday night game. We have the Chargers at the Saints. The Saints are laying 8 points. The over-under is 51.5. Tim, we'll start with you.
Oh, boy. All right. So, yeah, this is where I'm going to get myself in trouble. This is going to be your guys' week to win, I think. Give me the rookie against the vet. I'm going to take the Chargers getting 8 points. I don't trust the Saints offense or defense at all right now. You called them noodle arm before. Is Michael Thomas going to play? If he does, sure. The line's going to move. Right now, give me the Chargers +8 and give me under 51.5. I just don't know. It's the game that I'm the most unsure of out of the three, clearly. The Chargers played a great game against Tom Brady, and albeit they still lost, they look better than they have weeks 1 through 3. Give me the rookie showing up and making a statement game against Drew Brees. Maybe not win, but if they lose by 7, we still win. So I'll take the Chargers. I'll take under 51.5.
I'm right there with you. I'm not going to go much more into just saying I got the same. I'm going Chargers +8. I just don't think the Saints are a very big team.
I'm fine. All right. See you guys next week. This is ridiculous.
We're
going to do Hennessy?
I don't think dude. I don't see the Saints being a very good team right now. It doesn't mean that I don't think they're going to be a good team a few months from now, but they're not a good team right now. So I just don't think that they're going to be able to fend off the Chargers, who seem to be scoring points. Herbert seems to be playing well. I know they're going to be without Eckler. We'll get into that during some DFS picks, I'm sure. But give me the Chargers +8. Hats, what do you got?
Give me the Chargers to win this game outright. I think that this rookie QB is going to have a statement game, and I think that they're just going to start rolling, and I like them a lot. I think they're underrated, and they're going to start gelling, and I think this is the week you're going to start seeing this team come together. And like you mentioned with Brady, Breeze isn't getting any younger either. So, as the season goes on, I think you're going to start to see him, his age catch up to him. So, give me the Chargers and to win this one outright.
That's big. Sir, what do you got?
Part of me wanted to go to the Saints just so if I get that game right, we're doing Henny. But I'd rather be right. Give me the Chargers +8 as well. More than what you guys said. These rookie class of quarterbacks has been playing pretty well with Burrows and Herbert. So, Drew Brees, I don't know. I know it's at home. He plays better at home and on the road. Yeah. But give me the Chargers as a live dog. And the over/under, give me the over. I like to bet overs, but I'm not really confident in it. But give me the Chargers +8. I like that one.
I don't have an over/under read on this game.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because Sir brought it up, and I meant to bring it up earlier. Do you think home field advantage means anything in any sports right now? Just a quick sidebar, because just by saying
maybe with the Saints because they play in a dome as opposed to outside with the elements, but
okay, I can understand that. But the reason I really brought it up, I don't know we're going to talk about baseball, but Clayton Kershaw had his best postseason start ever. Do you think it has anything to do with there being no fans there? You think like it's a postseason game? It's not really a fucking postseason game. It's a spring training game. There's nobody fucking there. He's just pitching.
Yes.
No fans. I don't know.
To that same point about no fans, I think you can say the same thing about Stanton. I mean, he homered tonight again for the second straight game. He's got no fans. Like if he strikes out, and normally they would boo. No, if he strikes out, they don't boo him. So
he homered tonight again.
Yes, he did.
For his fourth of the postseason, or last night?
No, he hired back the second game in a row. He homered again.
Ah.
I mean, they're losing at the moment, but
boo! Come on.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like I said, with no fans, like if Stanton strikes out and there's a crowd full of people, they boom, it's going to get into his head a little bit. But with no noise, strikes out, sit down, drink some water, some Gatorade, get back up there.
Mm-hmm. There's more pressure playing in front of live people, so to
Absolutely.
that aspect, I think. But I also think when it comes to the home field advantage, like, for example, the Eagles, who just played Sunday night in San Francisco and now have to travel all the way back east and play the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a bye. I don't necessarily like that matchup, and obviously this whole COVID thing kind of fucked the Eagles in a way to where now it's a bye for the Steelers. We'll get into that portion during the parlay picks, but I think the home field advantage in the moment might not be, but the travel aspect of it, I think, plays a big part in it. So we will talk about DFS now, and obviously we've been giving you great picks and great players every single week. Seems like the guys that we pick, for the most part, hit. If you've been using them in your lineups, they've been hitting and hopefully have been winning you guys some money. Let us know. Rate, review, and subscribe as always, and let us know if they're hitting, if they're not hitting. If you guys have questions, tweet us at SBFS Show. Did I say that right? Because I'm not looking at it. I think I did. But definitely tweet us, ask us any questions. I would say anywhere without exaggeration, 10 to 12 fantasy questions a day that start from Tuesday and basically end Sunday. So I'm sure you guys do too, but, definitely reach out to us on there and we can answer any questions. I was going to go to Hats, but he's eating something, so I'll just start.
I'm hungry, man. I ain't mad at him.
Oh, hashtag Team Fat Boy, bro.
Team Fat Boy in the
I
building.
I saw his cheeks bigger than Reggie White's junk, and I knew that he was eating something in that moment.
A little wider next time.
I'll tell you what, sir, let's go with your DFS lineup. You usually have had some pretty big picks, so let's start with you.
Yeah. All right. If you've been following my DFS picks, you've probably been doing all right for yourself. If you follow me, you know that normally I don't really like to pay up for quarterbacks. So this week, I'm going to go with Matt Ryan at 6,100 against the Carolina Panthers. He's going to throw – Carolina's bad against the running backs, but Todd Gurley's been playing like trash. So he's probably going to throw the ball to. He's got weapons. Who knows if they play? I'm just hoping for maybe a 300-yard game, maybe 2 touchdowns. I'll take that 6,100. Oh, instead, just homing again, by the way. At running back, I'm gonna go Ezekiel Elliott at 7,800 against the Giants. He's gonna get a lot of touches. Even if they're up, if they're down, they feed him the ball through the ground, through the air. So give me him at 7,800. And give me Edwards-Helaire at 6,800 against the Raiders. Again, he's going to get the touches. He's probably going to get some yards. Hopefully he gets in the end zone. That's what I look for when I get my running backs in. Just give me some touches, hopefully, and hope for the best. At receiver, I'm going to go with Robbie Anderson at 5,900 against the Falcons. He's getting a lot of targets. And Teddy Bridgewater has been looking his way a lot. So, you know what? Give me him, Robbie Anderson. My next receiver, big question mark. He may play, he may not play, but I'm going to go A.J. Brown at 5,400. Right now he's questionable, and this is why you do your lineups Sunday. That way you can make sure your players are in the lineup. But if he doesn't play, give me Russell Gage at 5,100 or my man Brandon Ayuk at 5,200. Ayuk had hurdle over everybody. You know, don't matter. The linebackers, the safeties, the coach. Who knows? Who jump over everybody? My third receiver, I'm gonna go with N'Keal Harry at 4,300 against Denver. Again, he looked good on Monday. I mean, whether it's Stidham, whether it's Hoyer, I know Cam's not playing because of COVID, but give me N'Keal Harry at 4,300, a young cheap option. At the tight end, give me Evan Ingram at 4,600. Have you guys seen the Dallas Cowboy defense? Like, I know the Giants' offense isn't exactly the greatest, but I want some part of that because the Cowboys can't stop me, you, or sick. You know what I'm saying? So give it Evan Ingram. Give it Evan Ingram, 4,600. At my flex, he's not Christian McCaffrey, but he's doing Christian McCaffrey-like things. Give me Mike Davis at 6,400. So the brother's been doing work. My defense, again, I told you, I don't like paying up for defenses. Give me the Cleveland Browns at 2,700. And I'm going to hope Philly Rivers does Philly Rivers things. Take some sacks, maybe throw a pick or two. Give me the Browns, 2,700. Put that lineup in, get some money. You could thank me later.
Good lineup. Tim, what do you got in your DFS?
All right, let's try to run through this pretty quickly. I like to ramble a little bit. I'll keep it to a quick point and deliver. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, 5,900. Atlanta has no secondary. I mean, zero. Nobody's back there. Plug him in. He's going to throw the ball, and luckily,
hopefully.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, he throws it to the receiver that I picked in my daily lineup, and that was Curtis Samuel at 4,800. A little cheaper than Robbie. I could switch things around and put Robbie Anderson in. We'll see how the rest of my lineup turns out by game time. But I went with Samuel as my wide receiver 3. Running back 1, I went Kareem Hunt. No Nick Chubb. Maybe the best, one of the top 2 options this week in fantasy football. I'll be his background story. When he's on the field, Kareem Hunt puts up numbers, and he's going to continue to do so. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. Running back 2. This is your dart throw of the week. Devontae Freeman as the running back for the Giants, 4,600. Mostly because they just need to find out after 2 weeks now. They need to find out if he has anything. They need to give him the ball more than a couple times a game. Feed him and let him go, and either they're going to do well against the Cowboys or they're not. And this is the week that I think they're going to find out whether he's anything or they're going to move to Wayne Gallman because their other running back I can't remember. Deion Lewis is not your every down back, and he'll never be anything more than a third down back.
Don't listen to him, Harry. He was an Eagles legend. All right, go on, Tim.
That's right.
Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, we know. Wide receiver 1, Mr. DeAndre Hopkins, against my New York Jets. It hasn't been covered yet. Won't be covered this week. $7,900. I think every one of us should pick him 1 week in exchange to just bring his name up around fantasy because Nick wanted nothing to do with him this year. I think we should run that. My wide receiver, I guess he's my wide receiver 3, is Greg Ward. Greg Ward from Philly. $4,600. They have Zach Ertz, and then they have Mr. Ward, and that's it. I don't know if anyone else is playing yet this week. I don't know, but in order to win, they're going to need to put up points, and hopefully he's getting the targets. Now he just needs to do something with those said targets. My tight end, sir, this is for you, old boy. The people's tight end, George Kittle. No explanation needed. He's
the best tight end in football. We know.
Yeah, anyway. And my flex is Antonio Gibson from the Washington football people. $5,000. He's their every down back now. for a running back that's producing. He scored a couple touchdowns, had great receiving yards. His role is only going to increase with that team. It's a pretty cheap option at five Gs. And the defense, I paid more for defense this week than I ever would because, well, they're playing the Jets.
Matchup sucks.
They're playing the Jets. It's the Arizona Cardinals. 4,100. If Flacco's playing quarterback, then he's a statue, and they're going to get after him, hit him a couple times, pick him off a couple times. You thought playing the Jets with Sam Darnold was bad? This is going to be way worse. That's my lineup.
I was going to say, I got one guy you have. I'll get into it when I go into mine, but I like how we, for the most part, don't have the same players. So, and I think going through it, I don't have anybody outside of one guy that you guys have mentioned too. So it looks like we have a lot of picks. I'm going, and I mentioned last week that the best hand in DFS was, this would have been before week 4, so based on week 3 stats, it was Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. So I'm going the same strategy by going with a 3-stack, hoping for the nuts. The best combo against the worst defense. So I'm going Dak Prescott at 7,400. I hate having so many Cowboys in my lineup, and we'll get into the rest of them. But the fact of the matter is Dak absolutely abuses the Giants year in and year out. He's the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to have 450 yards 3 straight games or more. He's an absolute Giants killer, as I mentioned, and he's on pace for 6,760 yards. Do I think he's going to get that? No, because that's like more than I get like in my Madden, rookie franchises. But that's a lot of yards, so we'll see what happens. But he's having a great year. And I'm partnering him up with Amari Cooper, averaging 12 targets a game at 7,400. And CeeDee Lamb, the guy that I really, really wanted in real life, at 6,000. Looks like Gallup isn't really – I mean, he had one good game. He did have the dropped – or he didn't drop it, but it was the fake flag in game 1 with Jalen Ramsey. So he would have had a bigger game there. But he just hasn't clicked right now, and CeeDee Lamb has. So I'm going CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, and Dak. For my running backs, I'm going James Robinson on the simple fact that I'm going back to the well, 6,700. Houston can't stop the run at all. I don't think there's a running back they faced so far that hasn't absolutely abused them. He's on pace for 1,784 yards and 12 touchdowns. He had, I believe, about 120 yards, and honestly, he had 40 yards taken off the board on a penalty. So he could have had an even bigger day last week. So I'm going James Robinson for my one running back. My other one, to the same point, Nick Chubb got hurt. I'm not looking for a lot from this guy. Ernest Johnson. Last week, I mean, they both, him and Hunt, abused Dallas in the run game. Even Odell Beckham shit on them, no pun, in the run game. But all I need from Ernest Johnson to be productive is 10 to 12 touches. I think he can get me some points. And the fact of the matter is Kareem Hunt is still dealing with a groin injury. Who knows how healthy he is. He clearly wasn't healthy last week, or else I think they would have given him a bigger load. They didn't, which leads me to believe that I think he still might be hurt. My last wide receiver, because, again, I mentioned Cooper and Lamb, is Hunter Renfrow, and I'm picking him at 4,900. Obviously, I have some big money invested in some other guys, so I can't spend a ton on this guy. But Hunter Renfrow has become a sort of PPR guy in a lot of leagues. He had 8 targets last week. I don't think he's going to shock the world, but he did have 5 catches. He's carved out a nice PPR role on that team, along with Darren Waller and Mishaps, the former Eagle, dropping passes. Nelson Aguilar. But Renfro's been pretty good, so give me Renfro as my bottom receiver. For tight end, I'm taking Eric Ebron. I mean, I think the only week that the Eagles didn't give up a touchdown to a tight end was against Cincinnati. Besides that, they've given up. They have to be the worst team against the tight end in the league. I mean, they gave up 3 to Higbee. You saw what the People's tight end did. Even Logan Thomas scored a touchdown in week 1 against them with their quarterback missing basically everybody on every throw. So give me Ebron to just score a touchdown. I mean, if he does anything more than that, then it's icing on the cake, but I think he's going to score a touchdown. My flex is Antonio Gibson, and I love the fact that I loved him so much going into most of my fantasy drafts. I have him on just about every team, and it got a little hairy at first. They got Barber, they got McKissick, they got a bunch of different guys, but he's now finally established himself. And the thing that makes him valuable now more than in weeks past is that now they're using him in the passing game, which means even when they're losing, he's valuable. So now he's valuable no matter what. So give me Gibson, the running back for the Washington football team. At what is he? I didn't write down the money, but
5K.
Yep, that sounds about right. And for defense, I'm going Buffalo, 3,600. I just don't know what Tennessee's team is going to be. They've mentioned that certain guys are going to be sitting. They have up to 9 guys sitting, which puts a stress on the team. They could be a bunch of reserve guys. I do know Humphreys, the slot man, is one of the guys that's sitting. They didn't mention everybody, but there's a bunch of guys that are going to be sitting on the team, and I just think, I'll take Buffalo's defense, which has been pretty good so far anyway, up against a team that, didn't practice at all last week. It wasn't like a true bye week. Or I guess it was in a way, but they didn't do anything at the facility. And now they still haven't come back. It looks like they're returning tomorrow, which would be Wednesday. Who knows? But give me Buffalo anyway for my defense. That rounds out my DFS. Hats, I know you don't do DFS, but are there any matchups or any players that we didn't mention that you like this week and why?
I do like Ward, like Tim said. We said it last year. This guy's got a lot of heart. I like Chenault. I do wish the Eagles had drafted him. I think this kid's going to be, maybe not a superstar in this league, but I think he's going to be a very good player. Week in and week out, he's proven that he can be relied upon. I also do like Dearness Johnson. I think that he is going to get some touches this week, and you're going to see something out of him. So, and I think Cole Beasley is going to start. He's getting 4 to 5 catches a game, and I think that number's only going to go up. So, they're my picks. I mean, I don't do the DFS, but so I don't know what their values are, but they're the guys that I like this week, and I imagine most of them are pretty cheap.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's like the Swiss Army knife at that Jacksonville. He gets just rushes attempts through the air. It's a good pick.
Yeah, thank you.
We've had some running backs get hurt this past week, and in the only league that I really care about, where I face Tim, I have the number 1 waiver, so I'm not worried about him taking anybody that I'm looking at. But with all of the injuries at running back, are there any names that stand out that are usually available in most leagues of guys that you would want to target? I know we mentioned Dearness Johnson. I don't know if I would necessarily target him unless you have some time to wait on your bench, because I don't know. I think we need to see what that looks like with Kareem Hunt. And we do know that Nick Chubb will be back. So I don't necessarily know if Dearness Johnson would be a guy I would target in leagues. Even the league that I have Nick Chubb in, I think there's better options. But is there anybody that you guys have seen in your leagues that you're targeting? If nobody wants to answer, because we are in leagues against each other.
I got it. No, that's all right.
Sarah go.
No, actually, I would say one guy, like, if Joshua Kelly's is there, you take him. But if not, look at Justin Jackson from the Chargers. Eckler was putting in work, but then he's out for about 4 or 6 weeks, I believe. Yeah. So he's a player that probably I look at the situation.
Here's the deal. I agree with you, and I think you can make the argument that Justin Jackson is more valuable than Joshua Kelly, even though Joshua Kelly had more action. I think he had 9 carries to 6 in the last game, but I think Justin Jackson might be the better pick because it's hard to imagine, and maybe I'm wrong, and we'll find out early, in week 5 what they decide to do. But are you really going to pair a rookie running back with a rookie quarterback on your offense? It's just, to me, that would be scary. You got Justin Jackson, who's been on the team for 3 years already. So So I'm not saying, I mean, I have Josh Kelly on a bunch of different teams, but I think all things considered, if I'm targeting a running back this week, I think most people are going to be targeting Joshua Kelly. I think the smart people would target Justin Jackson. That's just my own opinion.
Well, they both had just about almost equal touches last week. It was like 9-6 after Eckler got hurt. So they both didn't do diddly dick on the ground. They averaged under 2 yards a carry, which doesn't help anyone. But with a week of practice, a week of prep, hopefully both of those options are better than what they were, or our Chargers pick for Monday night. It's a little silly.
Yep. Well, and I'm realizing now that as my battery on my laptop kicks back on and you guys could see my face, that this will air Wednesday afternoon and waivers would already be done. But if these guys are available in your league after the fact, definitely target them. I also like Chase Edmonds, who, Kenyon Drake has never had a full workload in the pros, and he's never had a full workload in college. It does look like
he burned me last week. Great.
Yeah. It looks like he's hurt, although the coach said he wasn't. Kingsbury said he wasn't. At the end of the day, if he's not hurt, he sucks. And he's not playing well right now. I thought for a while he'd be a guy that I would target as a buy low because I thought he would eventually figure it out. But the fact of the matter is he's not that good. And honestly, I think Chase Edmonds is a better running back than Kenyon Drake right now. So Chase Edmonds, if he's available in your leagues, I would target him big time. You might be able to get him for cheap. I don't know. Or you could definitely just add him. And then the only other guy I had written down was Damon Harris. I just don't trust New England backs, especially
any running back system.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
they're
down to 3. You have the 2 more of a pass catching back, which is Rex and James White. And what a stupid idiot! He's on fucking too many of my teams to even
Rex Burkhead.
Remember his name. No, not Rex Burkhead.
James White.
No, not that guy. The one who's on the fucking IR.
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel. Way too many of my teams.
God, he's the worst one to have on your team.
Shut up, Nick. I know he's the worst one to have on my team. I'm just saying that I got him on way too many teams that I would want to admit, going into the season, whatever. Either way, there's one guy who's going to be the bell cow or who could possibly run on early downs and that you could actually trust. And he didn't look too bad last Monday against KC. So that's not a bad option to pick up either.
The fact of the matter is their number one running back is Cam Newton. I mean,
when he's there.
There's not
in the red zone. Cam Newton is scoring it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it was off. Maybe it's fake news. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if Cam Newton, since he's asymptomatic, if he passes 2 tests this week, he could play. So I don't know. He might be back this week.
Well, Nick, that has to be the case because then the whole Tennessee Titans team, whoever was tested, they would all have to be out this week too. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know how that's going to work either.
The problem is with the Tennessee Titans is one guy got it, and then a day later another guy got it, and then another guy got it, and another guy got it, and it completely blew up. Whereas with Cam Newton, and it's surprising that it didn't happen there because Cam Newton is in everybody's face in the huddle and everything that's going on, but Cam Newton got it. They've tested the New England Patriots multiple times, and nobody's come back with it. So a good thing, I mean, for a lot of different reasons. And, of course, nobody's a pro when it comes to this or an expert when it comes to this COVID shit, but I don't know.
How soon is COVIDgate going to come out? I haven't heard it yet, but that shit's going to come out. Where somebody's going to play with it when they knew they had it. It's going to happen. It's crazy.
If there's any coach in the NFL that can figure out a way to get the opposing team COVID, Bill Belichick is working
absolutely
right now
big facts
to make sure that the teams that he is facing gets COVID. So, guys, we'll rapid fire these because we've talked a lot about football. So, obviously, our parlay picks, I don't think there's going to be a lot of research or need for research involved on the picks that we're taking and why. I'll start with mine, and there's 2 head-scratching picks that I almost went with. I kind of like Indy -2, but I didn't go there. And honestly, we mentioned last week, or at least I mentioned, that I think Arizona might be a little fraudulent. If it wasn't for the fact that the Jets said they may not be starting Sam Darnold, I think I probably would take the Jets +7, 7.5. I'm not taking them because of everything that's going on, but I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if they cover that number. The 3 picks that I'm going with, Pittsburgh -7. I just don't like the fact that Philly's traveling across the country. It's a short week for them playing off of Monday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers just had a bye. They're a really good team rushing and blitzing. I just don't know if Philly can win. I'm rooting for them as always, but give me Pittsburgh -7 in my first game. My second game, and I was surprised nobody's mentioned it about, thinking the team quit on Bill O'Brien, and now that he is no longer the coach, that they'll rally behind anybody and start to play well. I think you have to be a good football team for that to happen, or at least a moderately good football team. Like, this isn't Ben McAdoo, who the Giants definitely quit on, and as soon as he was fired, they started to play a little bit better. They were still terrible, but they were better than they were under Ben McAdoo. This is not the case. Houston is awful, and I don't think that they could stop the run. And Jacksonville getting 6 points, I think, is the move for me, so I'm taking Jacksonville +6. And my last pick, and it pains me to do it, I think Dallas is going to beat the Giants by 28 points. I mean, I don't see how the Giants will stop Dallas. And even though Dallas's defense isn't elite by any means, I don't think the Giants' offense is good enough to match them. I would take this up to 10, and I might even be able to be talked into 11. But right now it's -9.5. I'm taking Dallas -9.5. So my picks are Pittsburgh -7, Jacksonville +6, and Dallas -9.5. Those 3 picks would get you +571. Tim, who do you got in your picks?
All righty, here's your parlay. Gonna go 3 for 3. Win everyone some money. You're gonna start off Thursday night. Tampa Bay and Chicago go over 44. I don't care who's sitting out of the game. It's a Thursday night game. All the Thursday night games have been no defense seen around. All the over-unders have been near or close to 40. This is the highest one that it's been. I think it blows it out of the water. If the Jets if the Jets can put up 20-some points or 20 to 30 points on Thursday, just about any team can. So if it's only 44, yeah, you're going to take over 44 and take it to the bank. Game number 2, Nick, I'm glad you didn't pick the Jets +7, because if you have not seen the JV Jets, they are one of the laughing stocks of the league. And as bad as Arizona's looked the past 2 weeks, they still have the far superior team if you're playing the New York Football Jets. And them at -7 is definitely not enough. And the last pick me and you share, Nick, and that's the Steelers -7 coming off a bye against the Eagles. I picked the Eagles last week to cover, but they're playing a completely different team than they did. Sorry, sir, your boys are beat up. You said that.
Wait a minute, hold up. All that singing, all that flapping your arms, and you gonna pick against them? Come on, fam.
Yeah.
I
don't
agree.
worry. I'm gonna sing and dance my
All
way
that
to the
singing
bank.
and flapping, come on, man.
Thank you, sir. I agree with you.
Brother, it's up here. That's all it is.
It's what have you done for me lately?
It's what you're gonna do to pad my bank account, and at +597, I'm gonna be $600 richer once Sunday night comes.
Here's the thing with Arizona. And I get the Jets thing, but do you think that Carolina is that much better than the Jets? Like, they're that much better that they could beat Arizona outright? And the
Yes.
Jets can't cover 7?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes. That coaching. Coaching.
It also depends on the quarterback. Obviously, I'm staying away if Sam Darnold's not the quarterback.
Well, you won't like Joe Flacco?
I mean, there's a reason he's a backup. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champ, but he's a backup.
Yeah, he's a backup because Sam Darnold got picked first overall by whatever. Listen, you can argue and say that they might be a more controlled team under Joe Flacco. You know, he is going to make the Hall of Fame if, you know, Eli Manning makes the Hall of Fame. They're both Super Bowl MVPs. They have similar statistics in the playoffs. That's all that matters, right?
Again, direct your hate tweets at Big Time TS. Sir, what do you got in your parlay?
All right, my first game, again, primetime game, Kirk Cousins, give me Seattle -7 to start off. My second one, this one scares me a little bit because the Giants can't score, but give me the over 54.5. My thing is Dallas defense, absolute trash cans. They couldn't stop us for. So, again, I'm going to go over 54.5. And then my third game is, why are the Falcons favored to anybody? Why? Like, come on, bro. We just talking about Dan Quinn might be fired. Like, next, come on. Give me Carolina +2.5. You know, that's my parlay. I was thinking about going Cincinnati +13, just because Joe Burrow's been looking pretty well, but nah, I'll stick with those three. Seattle -7, over 54 in the Cowboy game, +2.5 for Carolina. Again, I'm going to go second straight week, hit my parlay. Thank you.
Hats, do you have any picks, any parlays?
I do, and that was a nice segue because I am going Cincinnati +13.
Nice.
I think I'm going to cover that spread. You know, Burrow has been looking good. The Ravens, great team, but how many times can you win by double digits? You know, I think this is the week that they don't. I see them winning by 9, but I think Cincinnati's going to cover. This definitely does pain me, but I do agree with you guys. The Cowboys, I think, are going to not only win this game, but I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think they will cover the 9.5. And unless Keanu Reeves is the quarterback for the Jets, the Jets are not covering. I think you're going to see Murray throwing and running all over this team, and they're going to win by double digits. So that's my 3-team parlay. You know, it's guaranteed 3-0.
Your parlay would cash out at +571. I didn't know if you had that number. I was doing it while you were talking, so I can get that for you. But I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets cover. I'm not saying I'm going to take them. I got to see more stuff, but I just have a feeling.
I will do whatever shot you want next week.
If the Jets, hold on.
Wow.
If the Jets cover, or if the Jets.
If the Jets cover, I will do whatever shot you want, regardless.
Here first.
No. Regardless of when I win the primetime games, I will do whatever shot.
You guys are giving too much credit to Arizona.
Yeah, you're probably right, but
it's the Jets.
I just think Jets just have stopped playing for games.
Can I also announce a first for our podcast? I'm going to put up a $25 big time challenge.
Uh-oh.
Anybody,
This sounds pretty good.
Any one of our listeners who puts in the same, not the same as ours, but you got to pick 3 games, got to be either the over-under or against the spread. Tag us before the Sunday 1 o'clock or the Thursday, whatever your games are. Tag us on our Twitter. If your games hit, you'll be entered into a raffle to get a free $25 bet on my name. I'll send you the screenshot of me putting the bet in. You can pick whatever you want. It could be an odd. It could be a future. It could be any bet that you want. It'll be a $25 bet. You just, this week, put the bet in. It's on us. I hope you're better than us at picking, because I hear a lot of people talking shit about how, oh, that's easy. You could pick any 3 games. Well, here's your chance. You $25 via DraftKings. Let me know. Enjoy.
I like it. I
to
like
just
it.
piggyback off that, that's awesome, by the way. But just to piggyback off that, I would say to answer some questions that are already being asked, Moravik, you can only do one entry, not multiple. And also, you need to make sure that you are subscribed to both TruExact and our Twitter. So you got to be with us to be a part of this and to be a part of the promotions and the sweepstakes and the fun things that we have coming down the line. We're not handing out freebies, even though if you've been following us since week 5, we've had a pretty good first 4 games. I mean, we've all hit. I'm positive, even though I've been more negative than positive in terms of quantity. The quality was there, and I'm up 1,000. I'm sure, sir, you've hit. Tim, you've hit. Hats. You're just the guest for this week, but I'm sure you've hit some picks, and it sounds like your fantasy teams are doing pretty well. So, go ahead.
Speaking of which, as always, not to steal your thunder, Nick, but we're looking for guests each week. If you're friends with us, if you're a follower of the podcast, reach out to us. We would be more than welcome to enjoy some little jabs. If you don't like us, please come on and tell us what the deal is. And a lot of people nudge me and say, "Oh, you do that podcast thing now, huh? Well, you're such a big dog." I said, by all means, come join the show. We'll be more than happy to have you on, since you clearly know everything about sports betting and fantasy.
I'm loving it. I got to be honest. I love being a guest. It's been a great experience. I'm having a good time.
I know, you're fucking eating pizza. You got Reggie White's junk in your face. You're having a good old fucking time.
So far, I must say, my best bet of the season has been winning $1 off of you right there, sir.
I still owe you $1. I know.
You damn right you do. Give me my $1.
I gotta give it to you. Just real quick on that. Also, to answer any frequently asked questions, Moravik, we're not talking about real jabs to the face. We're just talking about theoretical.
No shaking my hand, please.
No punching anyone in the face. Moravik, who we'll have on again, I'm sure. Before we go through our best bets, again, this is Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. We enjoy doing this each and every week. Follow us at, I'm going to look at the notes, at SBFS Show. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, on TruExact Radio. Follow them as well, TruExact Radio, on Twitter and YouTube. Our show will be out tomorrow, Wednesday, on YouTube, and it'll be out on iTunes. Thank you again. We have Sir, we have Tim, and Hats. Thank you for being our guest for week 5. Do you have anything you would like to plug before we go through our best bets of the week?
Yeah. You can come see me every Sunday at River Road Tavern. Follow us on River Road Tavern, our Facebook page, Harry Hat's Facebook page. I post the daily specials. You guys do a DFS. I do a DPS, a daily pierogi special. We're introducing 3 new pierogies coming up, homemade. We're going to have a country chicken pot pie pierogi, a meatball parm pierogi, and a sausage and pepper pierogi. Oktoberfest that I did at Southside for 20 years. We're going to be doing that the week of October 16th. Bratwurst, kibasi, and pierogies, and we're bringing back the Halloween party October 31st. We should have some pretty decent prizes. I have a Heineken bike and a Budweiser grill so far. Best costumes, the usual gig, win some gift certificates, and you can come see me Sunday through Thursday and one Saturday a month at River Road Tavern. And if you ever want to hear a special, we're constantly plugged on 105.5. We just brought draft back, and that's it. River Road Tavern, 601 River Road in Piscataway. If you hit the quick check, you went too far.
I will
recommend the wings.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You fucking beat me to it.
As a fat boy on this show, the DPS. So why wasn't I told about this?
What's that? Oh, I just got them today, so we didn't get them. Right. Ordered them.
Breaking news, sir.
So
You know what I'm saying?
if you're hearing it
All right,
first,
I'll be
this
in there.
podcast.
Bad boy status. We in there.
Yeah. So Saturday we're getting back the potato pierogies and the jalapeno potato cheese, and beef, and then the following Saturday we'll have all the new ones. So you're hearing it here first. This is breaking news on the podcast.
I will
Hashtag
say,
sold.
I spent some of the podcast imitating Adam Gase with my eyes, and I think Sarah's got even bigger when you eat pierogies. So
I will vouch, as Harry has poured multiple beverages since I have turned the ripe old age of 21, that you guys will have a great time visiting him at the tavern. And
there's no
Harry,
doubt.
thanks.
You got it.
The specials
Absolutely.
and the food and the innovation and the creative things that you've come up with, I miss in Southside, but can obviously still get that stuff at River Road. So thank you for being on. I'll start with my best bet of the week, and I'm going to tie in some of these. I'm having fun with these anytime touchdowns. So I'm going to tie in some of these. Those odds aren't out yet on FanDuel, so you can't do it yet. But I like the under at the very least in the Jets and Arizona game. And if you want to just do a simple bet, I would bet the under on that and give me Christian Kirk to score a touchdown. I also like, if you want to live dangerously, any combination of Edmonds, Drake, Crowder, and Perrine to all score touchdowns. Not that I think all five will, but these are five guys I think any one of them can score touchdowns. So put your money over there on those guys. Tim, what do you got for your best bet of the week?
Nick, help me out. I'm not familiar. I only do DraftKings. So what are those odds normally for a random ass player to score a touchdown? Are you talking plus 1,000 or?
Well, it increases your odds greatly because in most instances, unless you're the star player, it's going to be. So just for example, on these. So, like I said, I had Alvin Kamara. So I'm betting odds that Alvin Kamara would score a touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, okay, who knows, but he hasn't had a lot of touchdowns, but I had money on him. And then I also had the tight end for Drew Brees with Jared Cook out. Looked like he was going to have a full game. If all three of those guys scored touchdowns, I would have won over $3,000 on a $100 bet on those three. I didn't bet $100, but I'm just saying on a $100 bet, it's over $3,000 for just those three guys.
Okay.
So,
like I said, I'm not familiar. I just want to know, how crazy the odds might be.
Yeah, on that bet, a $10 bet wins you $300. That's good odds right there.
Yeah.
It is really fun to do. But what do you got?
All right, my best bet is, you keep saying Arizona's not a good team, and I keep telling you the Jets are a fucking worse team. Give me Arizona -7. If they don't win by a touchdown, Nick, I promise you, whatever disgusting tequila shot you're going to make me do.
Make them do Hennessy again.
Yeah, no, God. I don't know what's going to be worse.
Maybe we'll switch to Cavassier.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not El Rudo, I'll be fine.
There won't be El Rudo. Sir, what do you got for your best bet of the week?
Again, I hope I'm wrong on this, but I've mentioned it a couple times. Prime time, Kirk Cousins. That's all you need to know. Seattle -7.
Hats, what do you got for your best pick of the week?
I agree, sir. We're on the same page here. I think this is the lock of the week. Seattle -7. I think it's a no-brainer. It is prime time. Cousins just shits the bed, and Russell Wilson is having a year that
he's balling. He's balling.
Yeah, so I love it. It's my lock of the week. I'm taking it in every bet I do, and I'm loading up on Seattle players this week.
I will mention just before we say goodbye that Ed mentioned, I forgot to mention this before when we were talking picks, but Ed had three guys for the Yellowwood that could possibly win, and Hamlin was one of his three picks along with Logano and Bush, and Hamlin actually did win the Yellowwood. So big props to Ed if you follow.
Yellow.
I fucking said yellow. Ella. Hey. All right, guys. From Sir, from Hats, from Big Time, this is Nick. Good luck, guys. Thank you. And Jets +7.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, Hats.